Welcome to page 1 of your proportional relationships packet. Today, we're going to be doing a review lesson. We're going to be looking at unit rates and how to calculate a unit rate, whether we're given a graph, a table, an equation, or just a story problem. If you have a home printer, you can print a copy of this worksheet. It's given to you as a PDF in the lesson. However, it's just as good to work in a spiral notebook and take notes as we go through the lesson. You can pause the video at any time and copy the problems into your spiral notebook and complete your calculations in your notebook. Also, you may want to have a calculator handy for this. You can use your calculator on your phone as you go through this lesson. Let's take a look at the first section of our worksheet. It states, given the following ratios, find the unit rate for each. Now, you can see that some of our information in problems 1, 2, and 3 have been given as a decimal, and sometimes you're given a mixed number. So we will have to work with all forms. But let's take a look at problem number 1. It states 2.7 miles in 9 minutes. Well, they don't specifically ask for an order, so we're going to calculate the miles per minute. That's the unit rate we want to calculate. So in your notebook or on your worksheet, write down the ratio 2.7 miles per 9 minutes. When you have a moment, you're going to pause this video and calculate the unit rate, how many miles per minute. You can pause at the end of this section and complete your calculations. But let's take a look at our next problem. We are given 3 3/4 hours in 15 days. We need to know, since they don't specifically ask, we'll take it in the order it's given, how many hours per one single day. So, mixed numbers can be difficult to work with. So I'm going to go with the option of converting this to a decimal. We know that 3/4 can easily be converted to its decimal equivalent. Take a moment, grab your phone, and punch in 3 divided by 4 if you don't have this memorized. It's equivalent to 3.75 hours in 15 days. This is a little bit easier to work with. So in your notebook, write 3.75 hours, make sure you're including the labels, in 15 days. And at the end of this section, you can pause the video and complete your calculations. Let's take a look at our last ratio we've been given. 2 1/4 pounds for $9. How much for 1 pound? Now they've given us a specific order to follow. The dollar amount should go on top of the ratio, and pounds should go on the bottom. How many dollars per 1 pound? And again, we're going to take 1 divided by 4 and convert this to its decimal equivalent. It should be 2.25 pounds per $9. But when you set up your ratio, remember the order we have to follow. Put dollars on top, that's your numerator, and on the bottom, write the amount of pounds. In each case, you're going to divide each of these and convert them to their unit rates. Pause the video and complete this in your notebook, and then move on to the next section when you're ready. The answer key is provided at the very end. You can check your work against the answer key when all your work is done. We've included it in the lesson. Let's take a look at our second section. Sometimes you'll be given the opportunity to calculate a unit rate, but there won't be label agreement. It says, given the following ratios, find the unit rate for each. Check for label agreement. Well, some of us haven't seen this before, but let me show you what that means. It states here, we're given this ratio, 2 5/8 gallons per 30 minutes. How many gallons per hour? Ultimately, they want the ratio to compare gallons to hours. So we look back at what we've been given, and if you look at the time, it's given in minutes. So we have to make a slight adjustment and convert that to an hours measurement. We know there are 60 minutes in an hour, so this is 30 minutes out of 60 minutes. And if you simplify, it reduces down to half an hour. Or if you want to use the decimal equivalent, 1/2 is 0.5 hours. So now that we've converted the time into an hours measurement, we're going to set up our ratio. And again, I'm looking at 5/8, and I'd like that to be a decimal rather than a fraction. So let's take a moment and use our calculators on our phones or whatever's handy. A small calculator will do. You're going to convert 5/8 into a decimal. 5 divided by 8. You should get 2.625 gallons. So when we set up our ratio, you're going to compare 2.625 gallons to 0.5 hours. Now it's up to you to divide the ratio and get the unit rate. In this next question, you can attempt this on your own to practice. You're going to do this in your notebook. You're going to pause the video and consider a few things here. It says, somebody can read 3 3/4 pages per 45 minutes. How many pages per hour? So we need to know pages per hour. But if you look at the time, it's given in minutes. So make the adjustment and convert those 45 minutes into an hours measurement. If we reduce this fraction, it is 3/4 of an hour. And as a decimal, if you divide 3 divided by 4, if you don't already have this memorized, it's 0.75 hours. Now time is given in hours, and we're ready to set up our ratio. Go ahead. Oh, and by the way, 3/4 can be converted into 0.75 here as well. So 3.75 pages per hour. Set up your ratio. And then when you're ready, pause the video and complete the rest of page 1 in your notebook. Also, when you're done with page 1, you can check it against the answer key. When you're ready, it will be time to go on to page 2. But this completes page 1. You should pause the video, record the information, and complete this page.